let me start over because someone decided that it was their job to censor what I'm able to say about my life and situation. So as I was saying, I woke up this morning, and this is after living at 1055 West Granville, apartment number 207, for quite some time, with a lease agreement that was set to expire in May of 2027. They staged, just like they did at the Harwood Heights apartment, another fake eviction, of which they bring in some weirdly dressed individual who is not a cop to pretend like we are evicted, after bringing me to a cancel eviction form, which I have proof of in my email box. So that happened. They forced us to leave. I have been sleeping in my vehicle since 29 or 30 nights ago, in Lincoln Park on the side of the road. And they froze my delivery applications and my income approximately 2 weeks after that, 2 weeks ago from the Monday that just passed. I have applied to a number of other jobs. My children, Viviana, Lewis, Alexis, and Weston, have been subjected to a number of situations as a result of me beginning to be extorted by a detective, David Shepard, who forced me through extortion to engage in gathering evidence for him, with the threat of harm to my children if I was non-compliant. That happened in 2016. There is an internal affairs record of all of that, okay? With that being said, as I said and mentioned previously, stop fucking offering me jobs taking care of your children. I do not fuck that. All of my dreams were centered around being a great mother and wife. When I was a little girl, I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to be a lawyer. I didn't want to be a business mogul. I wanted to be a woman who was loved and supported and could pass that love down to her children and do arts and crafts and DIYs, maybe make a little side business on my own on the side from home, be held, be loved, be valued in my household. I never had a desire for the general public to want me, to value me, to see my beauty. Just my husband, who I also thought was beautiful and handsome and charming and amazing and intelligent. I never wanted the rest of the world to desire me. I don't care about that. Now, in certain situations where you're forced to interact with others, do you want to be undesired there or desired? Do you want to be welcomed there or do you want to be harmed and ridiculed? The harassment that I began reporting in 2019-20 has been permitted after promises and police reports and going in front of judges and reporting this behavior numbers of times. I would say maybe 6 weeks ago, was permitted to begin once again. I have been harassed. I have been stalked. I have been followed. I have been harmed. I have been name called. I have been stolen from. I have been sexually assaulted. I have been robbed. My safe place has been accessed without my permission. I have been threatened, all in the last 6 years. At my apartment at 1055 Granville, apartment number 207, individuals were permitted to stack boxes in my lobby addressed to GoPro Solo Hobo Heather Gillespie. I was not permitted to file a number of petitions, as is my right constitutionally in this country, with regards to my youngest son, my 2.5-year-old. I have decided, as I've said before, to move on. I've called hundreds of lawyers, hundreds, no less. I have gone to the courthouse a number of times. I have been unlawfully and unethically accused of things that I've never done. I have been starved of food while I have to watch my husband or whoever perpetrates my husband on a day-to-day walk into the store and get a bottle of alcohol, a pack of cigarettes here and there, whatever he wants, he gets, but I have been hands put on my body if I try to get food. I've been forced to beg strangers or ask strangers very politely and nicely for gas money. I was promised multiple jobs, including but not limited to healthcare consulting, working at a gas station in an enclosed space that was deemed safe with bulletproof glass. I have had my identity stolen a number of times. My social security card has been stolen so many times that the United States government said, Heather, if this happens 3 more times, we will never issue you another social security card as long as you live. That is the truth. I am sharing truth. Everything I have said is truth. If I have 4 children, Viviana, Lewis, Alexis, Weston, and I'm not being permitted to raise my own children, since 2019, upon Dylan's release from the IDOC inmate number Y12173, I have not been permitted to reside with or even go and pick up my children and take them to school. My Cadillac CTS was stolen unlawfully, unethically, and sold at auto auction after I made the final payment on it. I have been harassed in the street, stalked in the street, name-called, humiliated, forced by external control. If you know, you know, and if you don't, please keep it moving. To literally lose control of my bladder in public. The list of things that I have been abused by are very long. I have no criminal record. I have tried every legal avenue for work. They have refused to allow me to work legally. I have tried to work as a stripper. They won't let me. I have tried to work again as an escort. They won't let me. I have tried again to work as a fucking drug dealer. They won't let me. So they won't let me work in a menial minimum wage job. They won't let me do deliveries. They won't let me drive. They won't let me be a stay-at-home mother to my children. They only let me drive if I beg other people for gas money. I've applied at the mall. I've applied at independent businesses. I've applied at the grocery store. I've applied at fast food restaurants. I've applied at 5-star, Michelin star restaurants. I've applied at medical offices. I've applied at gas stations. I've applied every fucking where that you can think of to apply. After approximately 6 months of being forced to starve, some days 0 meals, nothing to drink. Some days 1 meal. I'm weighing in at 123 pounds. I am 5'9". Anyway, I do love children. You know, I think they're fucking great. Their innocence, their naivety, I think it's one of their most endearing qualities. I think it's one of the qualities that makes an adult in crisis feel the safest. In crisis as in emotional turmoil. Maybe you just had a divorce and your child comes over to your house and, I mean, please use common sense here, okay? Let's only allow this to be consumed in context, in chronological order of the way I've spoken it, and by individuals with more than 1/4 of a brain cell working. Please. If you are lonely or by yourself, when I first separated from my ex-husbands and my children would come home from school and say something so naive and innocent, you know, And I would be feeling so sad and alone. And in that moment, when they say that thing or do that thing, or they just want to play, or, you know, whatever it is, you forget about all of the rest of everything for a moment, you know, and I think that that's a beautiful thing. With that being said, I have absolutely no desire to do any work with any child that is not my own. If my situation with regards to being able to parent my children has not resolved, why would you approach me in the street to offer me a job driving children around, taking care of your kids? What the fuck? What else did I say in the last video that they attempted to destroy? Well, I'll just continue to repeat. I do not consent to this. It is unlawful for any individual to be without acceptable housing. And it is unlawful to force a person into the street without a house to live in, especially a person who's been going to work 7 out of 7 of the last 2.5 years of their life, who has no criminal record, who has done nothing wrong, who doesn't fucking deserve to be treated this way. You can check out my new website, GoPro Solo. I'm doing AI integration on that website. I've listed all of the services that I have available, and it will be in the little info bar at the top of the Instagram that I'm currently using. I want to remind you all that even if you delete my videos, there is a digital footprint of them. So all of my accounts, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anything that I've ever created or curated there, it's there, even if you can't see it. So when you go and you start telling lies to people, it might work for a few minutes, but the record will be set straight. That is a promise. That is a 1,000,000% without a single doubt promise. There will be a reconciliation for each and every one of you. So anyways, back to my dreams of what I wanted to do as a child. Let's talk about what I want right now. I want to be in the arms of my husband, who I am both physically, mentally, and financially attracted to, who I can trust, count on, believe in. I'd like to lay in his arms, in the crook of his shoulder, until I can no longer bear it, until I'm so bored of doing so that I have no choice but to get up. Maybe I'll need to use the restroom. Maybe I'll need to go and grab a snack. And then maybe I'll come back and spend a few more days or weeks there. I do not want anything else other than that right now. In the absence of my ability to have that, I would like a lot of fucking money. A safe place to live. And to guarantee that all of this harassment, stalking, following, false narratives, slander, assaults, fill in the blank, any undesirable treatment, I would like it to stop. Ernika Fairley is not my therapist anymore. Thank you for your asking. I formally let her go. I did send her a message letting her go that I did not consent to the way in which she was interacting with me, and that I thanked her for her service, and that I discontinued her service at that time. There is no court order that says I have to do any fucking thing. There's a court order that says if I want to actively visit my child, Weston, I have to ... But my visits have been gone since April, so look at that. That means I've been compliant to every demand that has been made of me, including but not limited to 2.5 years of therapy, drug rehab courses. I'm not an addict, never have been. Parenting classes, parenting coaching, and a number of other things. I'm done with it. I'm done. I am done with all of it. All of the lawyers, all of the advocates, all of the law enforcement agencies, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, who are aware of all of the details of these sets of circumstances and what's gone on, there will be reconciliation. The record will be corrected. I promise you it will. It always is. There's no time since the internet became a thing that the truth is too far out of reach to obtain. God forbid we start discussing extraction technology where people's minds and memories are subjected to external third-party observation. You can't even have a fucking thought with the technology we've got on the market today without us being able to tell if you're full of shit or not. Proceed with caution. Be careful. So anyway, when I was a little girl, I didn't have plans to be a doctor or a lawyer or any of that. I had plans to become a mother and a wife. And so when I was 11 years old, possibly 12, I think 11. I think it was 11 to take the course, 12 to legally begin babysitting. I came here to the Courts Plus Elmhurst. And I took a course to become a certified babysitter. Oh, what else have I tried for employment? I went to the airport and started creating relationships with individuals who work at the airports. And I offered them a 20% referral. Any and all clients that they refer me for personal assisting / personal driving. So if someone comes into town for a week, I go pick them up, bring them to their hotel or their safe space to live. I stay on call for that week. I do any paperwork that they need, any errands that they need, any, groceries that they need. I'm the everything to that individual. I said $5,000 a week, and I offered the person $1,000 of that for the referral, 20%. And nothing has come of that yet. So I have been, kind of pouring into relationships. Xavier has been dog walked all over town. I mean, he has been, today the guy who came to discuss, I don't know what he came to talk to us about. He was going to the Aaron Waters show. He was a professional poker player. He drove up and pulled up right in front of us this morning, and Xavier began looking at him like he was in love. And I felt so grossed out. I have never been more grossed out than I'm caused to feel when I see my husband or significant other look like that. And I've seen it more times than my stomach can fucking handle. And Xavier's not gay. And none of them are supposedly gay, right? So what causes that, huh? What would cause that? Listen to your favorite music performers' songs. Listen to how many of them have lyrics about when they take control. Apply a literal sense. Anyways. I would like everyone involved in fucking with me over the last 10 years to be indicted. I would like to be permitted to pursue happiness as is deemed my constitutional right in this country, the United States of America. I would like advocacy, support, and resources with regards to what in the fuck I am supposed to be doing to earn an income so that I can feed myself and put gas in my car and pay my bills. And God forbid, I say it, send my children money when they need it, which is my responsibility. Always has been. I think I told you guys also yesterday when I woke up, I took video of this as well. Military style formations of individuals jogging. I couldn't jog if you dragged me. When I was in cross country, I used to hide in the bushes. When everyone would run, I would just run the first lap, hide in the bushes, and then pop out when they were on their last lap. I was a triple jumper, not a fucking runner. A sprinter, if anything. I was also a swimmer, competitively. I was also a gymnast. I also played basketball, volleyball, soccer, baseball, dodgeball, Red Rover. So, just so everyone knows. I want to go on the record and off as saying that there are a list of jobs that I would willingly do any day of the week, and I would do them better than most of you. Okay? I have done almost every job that we have here in this country, and I would do them again in a heartbeat for a fair living wage. And in the absence of a fair living wage, I would like to be on the record as saying I am being oppressed. I am not being permitted the opportunity to make any money unless I ask strangers in the street for my needs to be met. This is unlawful. It is unethical. It is inhumane. And it is not sustainable. My name is Heather Gillespie. Heather Gillespie Smith is my name in some circles. I have been referred to as Coco by many. I used to run a blog called My Friends Call Me Coco. Coco Chanel YSL is the distinction. There are also circles that refer to me as Chanel. If you know my nickname as Coco, I probably likely knew you prior to 2020. If you know my nickname as Chanel, I probably likely met you and made a relationship with you after 2020. If you know me as Heather, you could be anyone. There are no other aliases. It's just, that's what it is. Coco Chanel YSL, Chanel, Coco, Heather, Heather Gillespie, Heather Gillespie Smith, Heather Smith. That's it. There are no other names. With regards to exposure therapy, if you are not a licensed, certified person who has either suffered from PTSD for 10 plus years with a qualifying medical fucking record and doctor testimony to prove that you have, get the fuck off my line and stop fucking with me. I already wrote a deposition about how to cure PTSD. There is no one who knows more about curing my PTSD and many other people's PTSD than me. Fuck off! Stop following me around. Stop antagonizing. Stop triggering. Stop making the insinuation that someone's gonna rape me if they're not. Stop making the insinuation that someone's gonna fly me to Jamaica and abandon me if they're not. It's not funny, and it's not a form of exposure therapy. It's a form of unlawful harassment. Stop doing it. I would like every individual that is talking shit all the time to fucking die. I mean that in no uncertain terms. I would like them to fucking die. To die. To be dead. I am the happiest I've been today. I can't even tell you how long. I feel much better being permitted to describe and explain all of the ways that the innocent third parties have been permitted to cause me harm than I would if I had to sit around denying that they were doing so. So thank you to the oppressive authority in this set of circumstances who won't let me go get a job or give me a bunch of money, but who will allow me to share truth about the individuals who are fucking with me. Thank you very much. To the Courts Plus Elmhurst, thank you for making me a certified babysitter at the age of 11, teaching me CPR, and giving me the legal protection I needed to begin being a certified babysitter at age 12 years old. I have actually been taking care of children since I was 12 years old. That is 28 years. But I want to remind everyone who's concerned, I've had thousands of milliliters of Juvederm, Restylane, Reviness, Botox, as well as an apparatus installed through this opening in my forehead that keeps me looking young and sharp. I have an agreement with the authority that I will never age in youthfulness, mindset, or appearance to any age over 29. AI integration, go pro solo. I am the founder, Heather Gillespie, Coco Chanel YSL, Coco Chanel, Heather Smith, whatever name you know me by. I don't do any fraud with that account. I don't do anything unlawful with that account. I offer services to local businesses. So far, I have pursued multiple med spas, entertainment industry businesses, as well as contractors and subcontractors. Website development, business development, new business implementation, AI implementation. I do not use automation. Automation has been deemed inappropriate for certain circumstances. Sending an email might be something automation makes acceptable. Having a prompt like when you push this button, it takes you to this page, might be an acceptable way to use automation. But with regards to entire businesses being autonomous to third-party intervention or scrutiny, as well as running on an automated format to collect money, there are way too many risks to allow automation in a full functioning business. You must have some sort of safety net. If you understand, then you do, and if you don't, then you don't. I'm not a teacher. I'd much rather be a cop or an investigator or an FBI agent or a woman in black than a teacher. Don't tell me I don't have patience. I've been waiting to buy a house and marry my husband and take a fucking nap in his arms since I was 14 years old. Patience is not the problem here. Now they're doing a race war. They're trying to say that because I listened to several Kanye West songs this morning, my entire personality has been taken over by evil. Yes, it is. The United States is a civilization of civil individuals. That's where police, FBI agents, and other justice-providing teams get a need for their jobs. Because in the event that someone is behaving in a way that is not considered civil, i.e., locking a woman without a safe house, away from the ability to earn income, subjecting her to various tortures and authoritative and non-authoritative presences that have been deemed harassing in nature. So here on Earth, those behaviors wouldn't be permitted. On the moon, no one would even do that. They would never even do that. On the moon, it's so different. It's like you don't even need rules on the moon because no one even tries to do anything bad. They don't want to. They have everything they need. They don't even want to. Anyways, to the poker player I was discussing this morning, he was going to the Air and Water show. He said he had a poker game with some Asians that make $5 billion a year or something like that. He said it was on the 71st floor of a building on the corner of Michigan Avenue and I think 10th. What is that over there? What would that be? Because there are no buildings that are 71 stories tall on 10th in Michigan. Maybe he's confused. Maybe he means the NEMA building on the corner of Roosevelt and Indiana. That would be my guess. Anyways, that sounded like fun to me. I told him I've never played poker. He has a wife. She doesn't have to work because he's been so successful in his poker playing. Lucky. But I said I would do roulette every now and again, as long as it's not Russian, you know. But I haven't really been able to do anything fun or rewarding or that makes me happy for many, many days. Many, 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 many days. I want to have sex with my husband in my house. I want to walk around my house naked, eating food, watching TV without any negative repercussions for watching or laughing at something that the higher power thinks is offensive. I want to be free in thought. I want to have enough money in the bank that I could do anything I want whenever I want to. All the rich people have been missing for quite some time. When I go to Bentley Gold Coast, which, yes, I have to leave the city of Chicago by the 17th or the morning of the 18th because they've been extorting me for tickets that have been paid since 2018 or 19. And then they said that they were not paying out on sanctions tickets and that I didn't have any responsibility to that. So I have to be gone by the 17th or the 18th from Chicago with no job and no income. Isn't that funny? I don't know if Xavier's going to come with me. I asked him to, but he's been like checked in and out lately, and it's my perception that given everything else they've done, they're attempting to re-curate or replay all of the painful, awful, terrifying, awful, unenjoyable, awful, unethical, unlawful, unconstitutional things that have already been done to me. all of this started and I took a road trip to Florida. And they stranded me there and stole my car and sold it at auto auction in, I don't even know, I think Georgia. They brought it back to Chicago. I filed multiple police reports. They said this car was to replace that car. Then they started making me pay $1,200 a month for it. Anyway, I love my children. I love my parents. I love my family. No one is perfect. But I'm pretty fucking close.